you will find that many, as we have said, of the hybrids, when they appear on your planet, will take nature names for first and last names, quite often vegetation names. This is why we have said that even though Willa Hillikrissing is her name now, as these names have evolved in their language, if she had been born in an earlier time, it would have been Willow Hillikrissum. But it has evolved into Willa Hillikrissing. Although holly cotton is holly cotton, sage primrose is sage primrose. No change has happened in those particular dialects. Does this help you?
Yeah.
All right.
And there's 33 on the planet in 700 years in Willa's now, right? That's what
Yes.
she told us. So
In what she would call her sideline, your upline.
Yeah. So I was wondering how they were created. Did they come out of the hybrid, blending of hybrid race with humans, or were they just?
They are a mix of several different kinds of things, the base of which, the foundation of which, are the hybrid children that will ultimately appear on your planet, but there are several other things that have been genetically added. We are not allowed to discuss what that is. Not yet. All right?
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I have one last question. So my friend Bridget has a wonderful little hybrid son named Neo.
For now.
Yeah, for now. And I feel a really strong connection to that guy. So I was wondering, have I given some genetic information to him at all?
Not so much literal, physical, but vibrational, energetic genetic information, patterns and templates, yes.
So how does that affect him?
It allows certain alterations to be made in the physical genetic material by taking cues from the energetic template patterns that you have provided in your energy field. Many people do this and provide energetic template patterns to the hybrid children program as well, rather than literal genetic material physically.
Okay. And what qualities came from
That,
to him?
you said, was the last question.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Hi, Bashar.
And you good day.
Yay! I'm excited.
Oh, all right. Thank you.
So I would like to explore Willa's pin chart a bit more.
All right.
In seeing it, to me, it kind of, well, I mean, I'd like you to explain more about it, but when I look at it,
There is no more to explain right now.
Okay.
And generally speaking, when there is more to give, she will give it.
Okay.
But what do you want clarification on at this moment?
It feels like I perceive a lot of different parallel incarnations
Yes.
from all different areas, extraterrestrial and stuff.
Then you can make your own pin chart, can't you?
Right. Is there anything more to it than that at this
Of
time?
course there is, but you can start with what you have been given.
Perfect.
Since what you have been given at the beginning of things is always a good place to start.
Beautiful. Thanks.
Thank you.
So I've been experiencing a lot of parallel reality shifting by going to these different areas on Earth. I mean, the call to adventure has led me to Maui, to England, then to Shasta, then to Los Angeles, and it's like boom, 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 shifting as my physicality, or who I am is also determined by my physical
all right.
location.
Well, thank you for following your shifts.
Thanks. So it's been really fun experiencing those.
One would assume so.
Right. When I'm in these different vortexes or chakra points, vortices or chakra points, it feels like I have greater access to the other ones. Like I feel when I'm in Shasta, I can feel Maui. And when
Yes,
I'm
in
here,
a sense. They are linked along certain energetic lines. You all know this already.
Right. So that's interesting.
Yes, it is. We have recently, and it has been presented to you in this way, talked about the idea and presented to you the idea that the Sedona vortex is strongly connected to the upheaval dome in Utah, yes?
Where's that?
Utah.
No,
It is in southern Utah at the northern end of what you call Canyonlands.
Thank you. I'm from Utah, so
It is a unique impact crater on your planet. There is no other like it. Explore Upheaval Dome and you will see what we mean.
thank you for that.
Yes.
I have a question about England and it being a part of the New World Network that I'm co-creating.
Yes.
And would Glastonbury be the general location for that?
I don't
location?
know, would it?
It feels so.
Well, then I guess it is.
Perfect. Thanks.
It's up to you to decide that, is it not, using your own vibrational compass?
It is, and that's what feels right.
Then why are you asking us?
I just was confirming that with you.
How does what I have to say confirm anything? If you have decided that that is what is true for you.
Yeah, that's true.
Thank you.
So when I was at the cetacean workshop, the gatekeeper that came to me
Yes.
was kind of a elven-looking guy with wings, and it came up at lunch break that
Yes.
it might have something to do with the 33, or
Not directly, except indirectly, in that one of the symptoms, as we have said, of accelerating your vibration and being more capable of peering into parallel realities and other dimensions is that you may also begin to see what is all around you all the time, that you have called nature beings, nature spirits, but now they become a little bit more visible to you. Yes?
Yes. And then I don't know if she'll be called later, so I'm going to ask for right before Willa came through on December 22nd. I channeled through Laura Geiger's hybrid daughter, who was named Willow, and we're wondering about the connection between Willow, the freelancer to come, and Willa.
Well, you can keep on wondering. Wondering about Willa.
Yes. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hello, my friend.
And you good day.
I feel like this is an appointment that I made,
Yes, of course. Otherwise it wouldn't be happening.
and I have a couple questions.
Yes.
The first one is, do you have any messages for me?
Nope.
Okay. The second one,
Unless I'm lying. But we won't know that for a while until this conversation unfolds a little bit further.
okay. So the second question I have is my people that talk to me.
Yes.
I can't hear them.
But you can feel them.
I can feel them.
Is that not enough?
Yes, that's fine. All of it's great. I love all of it. My question that I have to ask you is,
Yes.
they're constantly talking to me,
Yes.
and I can't always hear them. And
You said that already.
And it's not that I don't want to hear everything that, I do want to hear everything that they're saying.
No, you don't. Trust me. No, you don't.
Okay.
And I don't mean that in a negative context.
Then
The
we-
idea is you hear what you need to hear. What you don't need to hear, you will not hear.
I understand.
Because extraneous information that's not relevant for the moment you are at in your life is simply not perceived or not provided.
that. Why are they talking to me then? Why do they continue?
Information is always being radiated and beamed and sent. You, as antennas, pick up on what you need. You can sense that the transmission is always ongoing, but you don't always have to be paying attention. And if you stop needing to know everything that's being said, then it will take its place and balance itself out, and you will simply know what you need to know when you need to know it. You will hear what you need to hear when you need to hear it, and the rest of it will go away.
I understand that.
All right.
I just thought that maybe something might be wrong with my hearing and maybe
What?
or my knowing that I didn't get.
I didn't hear that.
Okay. I totally understand exactly what you had just said to me because I'm not.
Yes.
I get it.
All right. Then there's nothing wrong, is there?
Good. Thank you.
Do you trust your life?
Yes, I do.
Well, then there's nothing wrong.
Yes.
Do you hear that?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi,
And to you, good day.
thank you.
Speak up, and be bold.
Sure.
Sure.
Well, I wanted to.
Yes.
I have this word that keeps on coming.
What word is that?
Kundalini.
Yes. What about it?
Well,
You understand what that is, yes?
I believe so.
Oh, all right. Do you know so?
I think so.
I think so. I believe so. All right.
I mean, I.
Well, what about it? What about it?
I
The
believe
word
it's,
keeps coming. Do you do anything about it?
yes, actually.
All right. And so then, what do you need to discuss about this? Is it working for you as a tool? As a permission slip?
Yes.
All right. Then what needs to be discussed?
I guess it's power for human consciousness.
Power.
Yes.
Yes. And what does that mean to you?
Well, you know, when we listen to someone like you or other teachings,
Yes.
we really open ourselves and we're like, oh my God, yes, I want that. You know, I want that.
All right. So the question is, why don't you do that all the time?
Exactly.
Thank you. Do you have a good answer for that?
Well, Kundalini has been one of the gateway.
All right. And so.
And I wanted to know, as you in
Yes.
your dimension,
Yes.
what is, how do you perceive Kundalini in the human form?
Very well, thank you. We perceive it as high vibratory energy linking and balancing all the energy points of our system
Wonderful.
and connecting us directly to the vibrational alignment with Source.
Wonderful.
How do you experience it in your dimension?
Here you go. Well, in my personal experience,
Yes.
I have been under control over my Kundalini.
Control?
Yes. We talk about mind control, and I do believe I allowed it to be this way in my life so I could sense and feel my power as a creator, as a
All
co-creator.
right. All right.
Okay.
And
And the way it was channeled, I would say, or presented was in a way blocked. The energy of the
what
Kundalini.
does that mean? The way it was presented
Yes.
was blocked? If it was
Yes.
blocked, how do you know it was presented?
Well, no, it's like there was part of information that were not talked about,
So,
like the sexuality part.
yes, well, but you can investigate and discover that on your own, can't you?
I guess
Oh,
I
you
just.
have been, have you?
Oh my God. And I encourage it actually. Because it has
Yes.
so Bashar.
Yes.
You know
Yes, I do.
what I'm trying to say is that, you know, there is those teachings and we understand them, but we're human. We want to feel, we want to live, you know, we want
Excuse me.
Yes.
What you are all becoming is fully human. What you think of as being human is not.
Well, okay. Can you explain a little more?
Many of you say, I'm only human, but no, you're not yet. The things, the restrictions, the constrictions that you put on yourselves, the resistances you have to your own true vibration makes you less than fully human, expressionally. So, what you are learning by absorbing all these ideas and allowing yourself to feel the flow of these natural energies through you is your way for now of using that to allow yourself to become more fully human. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Are you willing to continue with exploring the idea of joy and excitement and pleasure in an integral way and in a balanced way that you know will always be expressed in a positive manner to the best of all concerned?
Yes, Bashar.
Then there is absolutely nothing you need to worry about.
Thank you.
Do you think that that is true for you?
Totally.
Do you believe that that is true for you?
I would say, can I add something? Maybe it will help
By
others
all
too.
means, call upon your imaginational link to your higher mind and embellish what we have given you.
So, okay, being human. So we there is more to that. Wonderful.
Yes.
But I am human now, and
In a variety of ways, yes.
right. And so I have to start from that point.
In a sense, yes, you have chosen to. Yes, and so.
And I believe there's a beauty in being human here on this earth,
All right.
Gaia.
Yes.
It's wonderful.
Yes,
And
and,
I'm getting
not
there.
but, and,
And
yes.
how have been a little bit challenged by how one take care of oneself, self-love and
Yes, well,
compassion
congratulations on the challenge.
and nurturing,
Yes.
right?
Remember, the challenges that arise in your lives are the themes you chose to
I
explore.
do, yeah. And it's wonderful.
It
I'm
is.
grateful.
It is. You are full of wonder, full of greatness, grateful.
So no but and how can one not hurt? That's been something that just,
Not hurt yourself or not hurt others?
well, I would say others.
Is that the question? When you say, how can one not hurt? Are you speaking about others?
I
right.
am. I mean, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, are you doing something intentionally to hurt them?
No.
Then how can you hurt them? They can still choose to be hurt, They can choose to hurt themselves relative to what it is you are choosing to do. And it's not like you can't make, in a sense, a mistake. And you can use other people's guidance and advice to say, well, you seem to be acting a little bit out of your integrity here. You might want to take a look at that. But it's up to you to decide whether that's actually true or not. If you're willing to explore the possibility that it might be, then in a sense, you're not out of integrity. And there is no worry about intentionally hurting anyone else. If you, in that sense, unintentionally do something that is out of integrity, you can say, all right, well, that wasn't my intention. I apologize. And now I have learned that by doing what it is I don't prefer to do, I now know more clearly what it is I do prefer to do. So thank you. And thus then, if you're not doing it intentionally, then in that sense, you are not responsible for what another person chooses to feel relative to you being true to yourself. Because you can only be responsible to people. You can't be responsible for other people. You can only be responsible for yourself.
I understand, believe me, but
Oh, believe
and,
you.
and as a human, it is challenging to see
Yes.
others suffer.
But do you not understand that sometimes the idea is that they have chosen this for their own challenge? I'm not justifying that they have to, but many times people will experience what you call suffering because they are resisting their natural selves, and sometimes they actually choose that for a very, very positive reason. It is not up to you to decide necessarily the purpose behind what they have chosen. However, the way to help them best, if they have experienced the suffering out of resistance to the natural self as opposed to a true conscious choice or even an unconscious choice that actually serves a positive purpose, is to simply be the best possible example you can be of choosing a life of joy and excitement, and then you give them at least the opportunity by seeing through you the example of what they could also choose for themselves. But if they choose not to go that way, you must allow them their choice. Because if you don't allow them the freedom to choose, even suffering, why should you be allowed to choose what you prefer?
Yes.
Do you understand how this
I
works?
do. Well, thank you so much.
Our unconditional love to you.
Hello, Tadeo.
And to you, good day, Nania.
We have a question from our Ustream viewers,
Oh, all right.
and that question is, what happens to the frames in the film strip that are not perceived?
They are perceived by other aspects of consciousness, even if they are not perceived by your perspective. All things exist and they never go away. Thus then, someone, somewhere, is perceiving them. Remember, as we have said, you cannot imagine non-existence. So anything you can imagine is somewhere, in some context, a real reality of some type. Thus, all the frames are being experienced by all that is and all the perspectives of all that is, even though some of the individual perspectives may only experience a few frames. Does that make sense?
Yes, and kind of generates the question of, since we have a wide range of film frames
Yes.
to view,
Yes.
and it's our conscious choice that determines,
Or your unconscious one.
or your unconscious ones, that determine what you project your consciousness through.
Yes.
What is the sort of the guiding determiner of what frames you decide to perceive?
Your true highest vibration. That's why we say act on your highest excitement, because that is in alignment with your true signature frequency and determines the frames you could be experiencing that are in alignment with that. If, however, you're experiencing frames that are out of alignment with that, then obviously what is determining that are belief systems that are out of alignment with your true frequency.
And sometimes it's probably just an exploration to determine whether or not the frames that you're projecting your consciousness through are truly aligned
Yes.
or not.
Yes.
And so
In
you're
that
always-
sense, you could say the paradox is that sometimes frames that seem out of alignment are actually in alignment if they are in alignment with the thing and the theme that you chose to explore about being out of alignment.
So it's almost like it's a lucid dream.
It is a lucid dream. Well, more lucid for some than others. Does that help?
Yes, that's really interesting, actually.
Was there another question that you had?
There is. There's a question from Michael and Amira, the
Yes.
individuals that have been gracious enough to bring Angel Valley to us and bring Bashar here.
Yes.
And they had a very unusual thing happen where...
An exciting thing.
And yes, very exciting.
Gone with the wind.
I don't know if they mentioned it to the group before we got here, but we were originally going to have this gathering in the big tent that they
Yes.
had below.
Yes.
And then on Monday, a huge windstorm came through and just seemed to target the tent and
Yes.
found a weak spot on it, knocked it down, and now we're here.
Yes.
So they were questioning, or
Any weak spots will destroy the entire structure. See the analogies?
all too clear.
So, integrity on all levels, impeccability on all levels is necessary to move forward. But I will also share with you perhaps a little bit more humorous, but no less educational reason. Things were getting just a little too intense. Thank you.
What? Well, hello everyone. Hi. I'm April from Bashar Communications, and Darryl and I are just so excited to be here at this very special place, Angel Valley, with Bashar up above. And we're just so thrilled to see so many people here. I know we're kind of tightly packed in here, and it's just amazing. It's just amplifying the energy tremendously. So thank you all so much for coming. I hope that you enjoyed the presentation and getting to know our parallel reality specialist, Willa, in the last hour. And I'm sure that there will be more coming after Bashar comes through. He'll be sharing perhaps some more information. And then we'll also be opening this for questions and interactions with Bashar. So, All right, so we're going to go ahead and start now. And again, I just want to thank everyone for being here and joining in this amazing celebration of our new galactic world that we are creating as we speak. And I'd also like to thank Darryl and Bashar for doing a wonderful job of being a fantastic channel and channeler.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for paving the way for the day when ET contact, open contact will be a reality. Thank you, Darryl and Bashar.
Thanks, April. Hi, everybody. Thank you very much for being here today and having us here today. Did you all enjoy Willa's introduction? We, yeah, okay. Well, I'm going to get right into it to give you the maximum amount of time to let Bashar say what he needs to say and give you time to interact with him. So have fun, and I'll see you later. Say good day to you this day of your time. How are you all? All right, thank you. First of all, once again, we will take this opportunity to thank each and every one of you individually and all of you together collectively for the co-creation of this interaction, the allowance of this transmission this day of your time. Once again, each and every time you allow for the co-creation of such an interaction, you allow us the gift, the experience of the multifaceted, multidimensional crystal of creation and the individual facets that each and every one of you happen to be. So we thank you for that gift. Let us begin by continuing some of the thoughts that were imparted to you by Willa Hillikrissing, the being that is the parallel reality specialist approximately 700 of your years in your future. All things being relative, and again, we have explained many times, of course, as Willa has also done, that all these things coexist simultaneously. But for the sake of convenience in your language, we will talk about the concept of future and past, as long as you understand that there are no such things. So we're really talking about nothing. Thus then, moving on from there, the idea of why, perhaps, it is important for you to begin to understand and have a little bit more information with respect to the concept of parallel realities, first and foremost, is this. You're already using them all the time, so you might as well become aware of the fact that you're using them in whatever way will allow you to enhance the methodology and the application and the effect of that usage of parallel realities in your daily lives, to expand you, to allow you to experience more of the vibration of who you are, to allow you to experience more of your joy, more of your passion, more of your love, more of your creativity. The idea, as we have explained it, in the way you are already using parallel realities every single day, every moment of the day, many times a day, is the experience itself that you call time. Very briefly recapping, the idea itself, the experience of time itself, is created by your consciousness shifting from one parallel reality to another billions of times per second, creating the illusion of movement, change, space, time. Each parallel reality is in and of itself a frozen single snapshot. This is a parallel reality. This is a parallel reality. This. Similar to the frames on your film strip, each parallel reality is simply a frozen frame. There is no time, they are timeless. No movement, no change whatsoever, just as there is not in any single frame of film. But as you move the film through the projector and project the image on the screen, then the idea is that you create the illusion of movement, the illusion of change, the illusion of space, the illusion of time. Again, hearkening back to the understanding that, of course, all the frames exist at once, even though you may view them one at a time, one after the other. Both, in that sense, coexist, but one, the idea that all the frames exist at once, is a description of the nature of the structure of existence, and the experience of the motion picture is the effect, the illusion, the side effect that you create by relating to those individual frames in a particular way from different perspectives. So physical reality experience is very similar. You, as a consciousness, are like the projector light. You project your consciousness through all the different individual frames that we call parallel realities, and you do it in a manner that creates your sense of time, space, continuity, and order, and progression, and expansion. And the idea thus then is you create that effect by shifting your consciousness through all the different versions, all the billions and billions of versions per second of yourself, variations of yourself in different realities, different earths, that stack up and create a parallel reality sequence. And in that sequence, you create the experience that you have as a physical being and relay that experience back, if you will, through the higher mind to the soul, the spirit that you are. But the idea is that your physical mind, your physical ego structure, your physical consciousness, in that sense, is like the projector. And the light is the light of your spirit, the light of your being, the light of your energy, the light of your consciousness, flickering through those frames, as we said, billions of times a second to create this illusion, this side effect of time. So you're using this constantly. You are very intimately familiar with how to use parallel realities to create this effect you call space-time. You do it so automatically you don't even know you're doing it. So smoothly you don't even pay attention to it. It's on automatic for you so that you can pay attention to the experience that you're creating in this manner. But the idea now is that you can become a little bit more aware of the fact that you're doing that. And by becoming a little bit more aware that that's how the structure works, that's how the structure exists, you can expand your experience of exactly how you create the concept of your space-time movie, your space-time illusion, your space-time side effect. By, thus then, even the subtlest of alterations, you can create many different kinds of effects, and many of you are beginning to experience some of these side effects from the alteration of how your consciousness relates to the shifting that you're doing through all these billions of parallel reality frames. One of the most obvious side effects that you are creating, one of the most obvious alterations that you are creating is an increase in what you call synchronicity. Anybody notice that? All right. Because you're changing, in a sense, the frame rate, or more precisely, you're changing your experience, your perception of the frame rate. The frame rate actually never changes, but you can change your perception of it so that you're paying attention to different frame rates in a different way. The idea thus then is that you created slightly different effects, slightly different side effect in your physical reality experience. Another side effect is your ability to start perceiving other realities, other dimensions. Start seeing what was heretofore invisible, because as the frame rate changes, your perception changes. And as your perception changes, your senses change. And as your senses change, you're able to pick up different things that you might have heretofore thought were, well, so to speak, in between the frames you thought were real, and now you're realizing that more frames and different frames can be real. Because everything exists at once. All realities overlap at once. All parallel existences, all dimensions exist here and now at once. What you perceive is simply a result of what vibratory frequency you're on. Frequency being another way of saying how you experience the frame rates. So the idea is that as you experience more synchronicity, as you experience and perceive more dimensions of reality, other consciousnesses, other beings who are now capable of being perceived by you, these are all part and parcel of the expansion of your consciousness and the inclusion in your consciousness of your awareness that that's how the structure exists, that you're using parallel realities to create this experience you call the physical world. Now, it doesn't mean that as you live your life, you have to constantly be aware of every single parallel reality every single moment. That's not what we mean by becoming more aware of them. You don't necessarily have to allow that to go off automatic, but what you can experience is a greater side effect, a different side effect, just by knowing that that's what you're doing. You can still let it run on automatic. It's just now that you will know it's running on automatic in a way that is more representative of the expanded view that you now have of the structure. Does that make sense? We can, if there is any confusion about this, clarify this in the upcoming question and answer exchanges if you wish. But for now, we're simply laying down this foundation so you can begin to truly understand why we are bringing these conversations about parallel realities into focus at this time. And there's another reason. The idea is that one of the things that helps this alteration of your ability to perceive these frame rates in a different way is the very discussion, the very awareness of the existence of parallel realities. By bringing in this focus, it actually begins, as you think about this concept, it actually begins to rewire your brain and your neurology, literally, physically. Because you are, in a sense, choosing to look at something that by its very nature is paradimensional. And thus then, when you begin to examine these kinds of multidimensional, paradimensional concepts, your brain has to rewire, reconfigure itself to allow you to process that kind of vibration, that kind of information. So bringing in these subjects at this timing will allow you to actually know that you are, in that sense, choosing to allow yourselves to be rewired. You are rewiring yourselves to make yourselves better receivers, better antennas for frequencies of energies that may have heretofore been invisible to you, which will now start to become more visible, more solid. Please remember the caveat of manifestation that we have shared with all of you. Manifestation of things into your reality is not the manifestation of something from somewhere else coming into your reality. Manifestation is the result of simply changing your frequency to the degree where you can simply start to perceive what has already been here but was heretofore invisible to you. Because everything is here and now. Every experience you could ever have, every thought you could ever have, every object you could ever experience in your reality is all right here, right now with you. All in your energy, all in the codex of your theme of exploration in this life. It's all there holographically. But you only see what you are on the same vibratory level of. So manifestation is simply changing your vibration to make visible what is already here, but was heretofore invisible. Does that make sense? So don't think of it, don't define manifestation as having to attract something from somewhere else, so far away you don't know where it's coming from. It's all right here. You have it all. You have it all, you just don't know it yet. That's all. That's the difference. Now, remember also, and we would like to add this, as a boost to the concept of the manifestation idea and your experience of parallel realities, and we have said this before, but we now understand it is important to say at this timing, the whole concept of this law of attraction, again, let us remind you that there is an underlying perspective that many of you are not quite getting about how the law of attraction actually functions. So let us just briefly share this with you at this time so you have a truly full understanding of this mechanism, of this concept. The way that many of you are talking about it isn't wrong, because you talk about the idea of, yes, you have to be of a certain vibratory level in order to attract a certain thing that is commensurate with that vibration. Yes, that's true, and we have said so ourselves. But the idea, more precisely, is this. You are already a signature vibration. It's who you are. It's your identity. You give that vibration off, the vibration of your true self, all the time. You can't help yourself. You just leak it and radiate it outward all the time. That's who you are. You're giving that frequency, that signature frequency off constantly. All the things that are representative of that frequency are doing their best to get to you, to manifest for you. If they don't, it's not because you're not attracting them, it's because you're keeping them away. That's the difference. And all the things that are not compatible with your vibration, in that sense, they are doing their best to attempt to get away from you, as far away from you as they possibly can. If they are not leaving your reality, it's not because that you are, in that sense, doing something wrong, per se. It's just that you're not letting them go. So the idea is not so much that you have to learn to attract. The idea is that you simply have to let go of the things that are attempting to get away from you and just let in the things that are attempting to get to you. That's actually the core of how the law of attraction works. You're already on the vibratory frequency at your core. That is the frequency that attracts all the things that are relevant for your life, for you as a joyful person, for you as a loving, creative, loved person. You just need to let go of the things that are not compatible with that signature frequency. That's really all you have to do. Does that make sense? Yes. Doesn't that sound easier than having to learn to attract? No one in your reality needs to learn to attract. No one in your reality needs to learn how to be abundant. No one in your reality needs to learn confidence. No one in your reality needs to learn to trust. You already trust 100% of the time in something to be true. The question is not, do you have to learn to trust? The trust is what you are trusting in. The idea is that you never, ever, ever lack confidence, and you never, ever, ever lack abundance. It's that you can have confidence in lack and an abundance of lack. But you are still abundant. So again, the question and the issue is not having to learn to be abundant, having to choose what you prefer to be abundant or confident in. Because you're always abundant, you're always confident, you're always trusting. You can't help it. It's your nature. It's how you were built as a co-creator. So, let go of the idea that you're not doing what you need to do in that sense. It's not like you have to learn anything about the mechanism itself. You just need to awaken to the idea of how to use the mechanism in the way that's most aligned with your true self. That's all you need to learn. Does that make sense? Are you sure? Yes. Thank you. Wanted to make sure the rest of you weren't asleep. The idea now that we will also finish up with here before we begin with the interactions of questions and answers will be, one of the reasons why, aside from just the parallel reality information, we are now also facilitating the introduction to your society of Willa. Heretofore, we have talked about the idea, and this connects very strongly with the whole concept of where you are actually physically on your planet right now, in the Sedona vortex. Our ship is above you, 1,936 miles, directly above you right now. As we help adjust and align the energy of this vortex and allow that energy to go out and link to other vortices surrounding this vortex throughout the many states that surround the state you're in, we have talked about the idea of the trinary connection that exists between Earth, our world, and the Sirius star system. In creating this triangle, this has created a certain stability, a certain foundation of a relationship with us, with you, with Sirius. But now it is time to add another dimension. And that is why we have brought Willa to the forefront at this time. Because it is an extension, again, nothing is absolutely linear, and it is a real parallel reality, and it coexists simultaneously with yours. But again, just colloquially, Willa is in your future, 700 years in your future. And the idea of focusing on her, bringing her in, does this. For imagine now, if you will, we will, as you say, use the channel's hand to draw this in the air. Here is the triangle, Earth, this dot, us, this dot, Sirius, this dot. So here's that triangle, yes? Have you all got that? Yes. Now, here is Earth, yes? By introducing Willa, we now take the tip of this triangle. You stay right here, but we take the tip and we stretch it out to another point in the timeline. What happens? Your dot now stays in the center of an equilateral triangle. It is no longer at the tip, it is now in the center. And by being in the center and looking down upon this and connecting lines from every point on the triangle to the center point that now represents you, while the outer points represent us and Sirius and your future reality represented by Willa, you can recognize that while looking at this diagram flat, as you say, two-dimensionally, in that sense, yes, it's an equilateral triangle with a center point with lines drawn to it from the tips. But if you understand it multidimensionally, what is it? It's a tetrahedral pyramid, yes. So now, by drawing that up, you now have the 4 points that represent the tetrahedral structure that is the underlying structure of all physical reality. It is the building block of your physical reality experience, vibrationally and energetically speaking. So now we have, by allowing Willa to come in to this structure, to this energy template, this matrix, we have now added another dimension that will again allow you to experience more vibrations that are more representative of more dimensions and allow you to rewire yourself on a different level in a different way. And now by looking at it rather than as a flat triangle but as a pyramid pointing upward, it now also and specifically in the vortex you are in points upward to us literally, physically above you in our ship. So this forms now an extremely stable relationship of energy, an extremely stable flow of energy, an extremely magnified and amplified ability for contact to begin to occur more and more and more solidly. And all of you now in this interaction, to whatever degree you are comfortable, to whatever pace you are willing, are now rewiring yourselves to take advantage of that tetrahedral space-time antenna and siphon off the energy from that antenna to serve your needs, to be expressed and applied in your physical realities through creativity and imagination and relationship with the higher mind, in whatever way, shape, or form you so desire. And by doing so, amplify and magnify the energy on your entire world that increases the relevance and probability of open contact. So we thank you, every one of you, for being these wonderful little tetrahedral antennas. So, I'll let you absorb that for a moment. And as you absorb, let us explore together these concepts, if you wish, related concepts, if you wish, whatever you deem to be the most important concepts for your expansion and your understanding. We ask in what way may we now be of service to you through the interactions of questions and answers.
Thank you, Bashar.
Good day to you.
Good day.
Speak up and be bold so that all may hear what you have to share.
Okay, my name is Lori, and I am a regression therapist.
Oh, all right.
And
Is that fun for you?
it is so much fun.
Oh,
I just
thank you.
love it. And
Thank
so
you.
this is so relevant for me.
Yes.
When I'm working with people and I want to help them help themselves now based on things that or in the past life, which obviously are in the parallel life,
Yes.
and the future life, I want to know really how to bring more peace to themselves. You know, I mean, it's not just, it's the personal, and it's what's happening in 2013 with war and judgment and hatred. And
Yes.
how do we get
Well, you can
past
begin
this?
many ways. First of all, of course, the very concept itself, if absorbed by the person, that all these lives are simultaneously coexistent, can automatically, if you truly understand that, if a person truly understands that structure, that relationship of everything being here and now, existing simultaneously, that immediately negates the idea that there can actually be a cause coming from the past. Do you understand? Yes. All the things you call causes coming from the past, karma, whatever you want to call it, is completely self-imposed and completely created from the present. The idea is you make cross-connections, energetic connections and links to other simultaneously existing parallel incarnations, as was explained by Willa on her pin charts, you remember?
Yes.
And thus, by making those cross-connections from the present, you are connecting to other life experiences that you have deemed, based on the theme you wish to explore, to be necessary connections to allow you to explore the energy, the downloads, the experiences that they have to give you. It's just that you interpret, from your space-time perspective, you interpret those cross-connections to parallel realities that you call the past. You interpret them as memories. But that's created from the present. The present, and here's another principle that if people can wrap their minds around, will completely shatter your understanding of space-time reality. The present creates the past, not the other way around.
Then does the future create the present?
No.
See, I am confused.
Thank you. The future creates the present when the future becomes your present. But while this present is your present, it's also creating what you call the future. Because you're looking at it as downline in the past, upline in the future, from the present. But when you arrive in the future, isn't it always now?
Yes.
So it's just that you are allowing what you now call the future to finally simply become your present. To accept it, that it does exist as a present reality, and to actually experience it as a present reality. So what you're actually doing in that sense is you're still creating that future from the present, but the way you do it is by turning the future into your present. Did that make sense?
So,
But the idea, let us finish, the idea is that you can actually do the same thing with the past. Since you're creating the past from the present, you can actually use the present to alter the past. Because if you truly understand that you are shifting through parallel realities, billions of parallel realities every second, then what that also tells you is that billions of times per second, you are actually expressing your consciousness through the eyes of literally a different version of you, which is literally a different person, isn't it?
yes.
So if it's literally a different person, then that person doesn't have the same history. Doesn't have to have the same history. You can make that present person seem to have a similar history or not, but that's actually up to you. Whatever you define yourself to be now is what determines the person you are now and determines what so-called experience of future and past that person has. So this is why we have talked before about this concept called the 13th step, taking a cue off of what you call your 12-step programs. this usually on your planet applies to all forms of what you call addiction, and how to allow yourself to let go, so to speak, of that addictive behavior. Now, we are in no way, shape, or form saying that people have to stop doing those 12-step programs if that's the permission slip that works for them. All we are saying is you can also, at some point, when you're truly ready to understand this, add a 13th step. And the 13th step is actually this, that when you truly, truly know, not believe, not think, when you truly know you are a different person, and truly thus then know that as a different person, there is a different history, that doesn't mean that you have let go of the addiction. It means you never had it. And that's why there's no urge in the person that you are now, not because you've transformed it and are dealing with it. It's because the person you are now knows they simply never had it. It's simply not a consideration. It simply doesn't exist in their mindset and never has. Make sense?
100%. That
Does
part.
this help you?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good day, Bashar.
And a you good day.
My name is Leano. I had a couple quick questions for you.
All right.
First, I would like to ask, what would you say to people who look to the stars with the energy of, come and get me, come and take me away?
We say, what's wrong with your planet? You chose to be there. We're not going to take you away from the path you chose. Now, certainly there will come a day when such interactions will occur, but they must occur by you meeting us halfway. We can't take you away. You have to come halfway, in a sense, energetically, in your belief systems, in your understandings, in your behavior. But the idea really, again, is that any such encounters on many different levels have already been arranged. These appointments have already been made. The only way to miss those appointments is to spend time worrying that you will miss those appointments. But if you simply live your life and trust the path you chose and trust that it will contain whatever is representative of your highest excitement, then you will simply keep those appointments. And if you have decided that such an encounter is relevant to the theme you chose to explore, then there will be absolutely nothing that will prevent such an encounter from happening. Except, as I said, wondering and spending time and worrying if such an encounter will ever happen. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
That is what we would say. Oh, we did say it.
You said it. All right, my next question is, Bashar is a consciousness, right?
I am,
Okay.
just as you
Bashar
are.
Okay.
I do have a type of physicality.
Okay. Oh, that's another question. I'll ask that later.
I am what you would represent as a physical extraterrestrial hybrid being. Now, in our evolutionary progress, as you say, we are coming closer and closer and closer to being non-physical, which is one of the reasons why we are at a point where we can do what we do, such as channeling through one of my past incarnations, the channel sitting before you. In that sense, you could say I am the channel's future self, colloquially speaking. And since we are now at a point where we can behave very malleably, very flexibly in space and time, and since I know that all things coexist simultaneously, then for me there is no separation between myself in the present and my so-called past self, which is just another present version of me. So the idea is that we do still have a physicality. You would perceive us as about 5 feet tall, relatively slender, whitish gray skin coloration. There are males, there are females. The males usually have no hair. The females do. It tends to be white, though there are exceptions to that. Our eyes are slightly larger than yours. Our noses, our mouths, our ears are a little bit smaller. Our heads are a little bit larger than yours. But you would perceive us as physical.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
Kinda. I'll jump into one of the other
All right.
questions. In relation to the physical existence that you have on your planet, what are
Yes.
a couple examples of your highest joy?
I'm doing it right now. I also explore the idea of other worlds. I'm a first contact specialist. I make contact for the first time with other civilizations. These are my joys. There are other joys. But right now, this is my highest joy because this is what I'm doing. If it wasn't my highest joy, I wouldn't be doing it. That's your first clue.
What's your perspective on ascended masters and archangels in relation to our...
My perspective on them is something like this.
Touche.
And sometimes like this. And sometimes like this. Sometimes like this. Sometimes like that. Basically,
Thank you.
the idea of what you typically on your planet refer to as an angelic energy. We can euphemistically say, now of course this is in a sense a symbol, but we can euphemistically say that they are the next step down from all that is. The first split off from all that is, are what you call angelic consciousnesses. Does that make sense, first of all?
Not yet.
All right. You understand the concept of all that is?
Yes.
What you typically call God?
Yes.
Well, you understand that everything is made of God, yes?
Yes.
Therefore, everything in a sense is like a step down, taking the frequency and differentiating it and splitting it up into smaller and smaller and smaller pieces? Yes?
Yes.
All right. Well, the angelic realm is the first step down from God. The first reflection of all that is into many reflections. That's what you call the angelic level. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Ascended masters are simply beings who allow themselves to incorporate within their expression of being in any given reality more or most of the totality of the collective consciousness of that reality, and their vibration raises up, and they can sometimes remain in that reality, dispensing information, sharing information, or they can ascend to the point where they completely leave that reality, maybe even leave physical reality altogether. Ascension is just a matter of degree of frequency, in the same way that you could say that steam is the ascended master of ice. Make sense?
Perfect. Thank you. Yes.
Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does.
Well, thank you.
Next question is...
Last question.
Last question is... I was trying to push it. Christ consciousness.
That's the collective energy of your entire world. Just as Buddha nature is, just as Krishna spirit is, doesn't matter what you call it. It's the collective expression of your world through a single individual. Make sense?
Exact. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure.
And you good day.
I just want you to know that I've really gained a lot of knowledge, wisdom from all the works that I've seen from you.
Well, thank you for choosing to add that knowledge to yourself.
Well, it has worked for me. I wrote myself a permission slip.
Thank
to,
you.
Have my name pulled out of the hat.
All right.
It seems to have worked pretty well.
Speak up and be bold so that all may hear what you have to share.
Okay. You have said that your ship is, above us.
Yes.
Balancing the energy of the vortex.
Yes.
So one would have to assume that we are pretty much out of balance if that's necessary.
All you have to do is kind of look around.
Yeah. Exactly my point. What I'd like to ask is, how is that working out?
Well, we'll put it to you this way. Our ship is acting, in a sense, like a barometer. The closer we come to the surface of your planet indicates more integrity, more wholeness, more cohesiveness, yes? So the idea is that when we began to hold that position, we were approximately 2,500 of your miles up. Now we are 1,936.
All right. Well, there's obviously a lot of whacked out energy on this planet at this time, so you might have to land someday to really clean it up.
Oh, no. In fact, just the opposite. The idea is that we cannot land until you clean it up a bit.
Okay.
Because the idea is that really our respective realities are completely not vibrationally compatible in their natural state, so to speak. I don't mean natural in the sense of what your true nature is. I mean natural in the sense of what you have created it to be. The idea, therefore, is that since you are not in your natural states, and we are, the vibrations are highly incompatible. You have to allow yourselves to become a little bit more cohesive in your natural vibration so that when we encounter each other, our vibrational resonance won't burn you out, won't overwhelm you, won't create psychotic shock by forcing things to the surface of your consciousness that you yourselves have suppressed and say you're not ready to face. This is the cause of many of the fears that come up when people talk about encounters with other beings from other dimensions and other realities. It isn't even necessarily that those beings are doing anything to create fear. It's just that their very presence, coming from a higher dimension, a higher frequency of reality, can force things to the surface of your consciousness that you're not willing to face. And in that sense, what you're experiencing is the fear of yourself, the fear of your own power. Make sense?
Yep.
So we take this process slowly, cautiously, dispensing information to all of you to allow you to decide what to absorb, what to leave behind, and we take our cue from you when you are truly ready. Now, we have an overall sense